Hola, I hope you're doing good. Thank you so much for joining me. So today's reading, just a quick one, the person in your mind, what are they thinking about you? I'm only going to be using tarot cards today as well. And there are 3 groups for you to choose from, alright? So the first group, we have the pink tourmaline crystal. Group 2, we have the clear quartz geode. And for group 3, we have the rose quartz. Okay, so group 1, 2, and 3, what are they thinking about you? If you need to take a moment to choose your group, go ahead, but I will see you in your readings. Hey, welcome to your reading. If you've chosen the first group, the pink tourmaline in this reading, maybe for you. The person on your mind, what are they thinking about you at the moment? Page of Cups, 7 of Pentacles. So the person you're asking about, they do think you're very interested in them. They do feel like you're really attracted to them as well. Sorry about that. So they also think you're pretty much completely invested in them, or that you're just very invested in them. They do see you as being keen on moving forward with them as well. And at times they think you could be, I don't know if coming on too strong is the right word, but it could have like a similar energy to it. Like just maybe more assertive or more forward or more keen than they are, or than they kind of want things to be at the moment. So yeah, in some ways they can think you're coming on too strong. They do think you could both benefit from moving a little slower as well, but they really do appreciate you at the same time. They do think that you want a family. They could just think you want a family in general, but for a lot of you, they could think you want a family with them, or to extend the current family that you have with them. They do think you're quite a spiritual person as well. And overall, like, they do think you're emotionally and mentally balanced. They could think you're a bit psychic though as well, you know. Like, they do think you're very smart too. But a lot of you, for some of you, they could like view your intelligence as being like a psychic gift. Like, how could you possibly know that? But for some of you, they could just think you're just smart in general, you know. But yeah, they think you're mature, and they think that you know what you want for the most part. Especially when it comes to your future and moving forward, the plans that you have for your future with the 3 of Wands, maybe in terms of relationships, in terms of, you know, building a family and stuff like that. They feel like you're very dead set on, you know, what you want, and you know, and getting what you want. So they do also think that you are looking for marriage. They do think you're optimistic and have a good perspective on most things as well. They think you're stylish too. They think you're hardworking and overall just a top quality person. And they do think you're good with money too. But no more's coming through with these cards. I know I said in the beginning that I was just gonna stick to tarot cards, but I'm just gonna get a few more because why not, you know? So what are they thinking about you? Sorry, give me a moment. What are they thinking about you? What are they thinking about you? This card literally comes out whenever I use these cards, that card always comes out. Anyway, so what are they thinking about you? Okay, I'll be done in a second. What are they thinking about you? And one last one. Okay. Alright, so we have mean. Let me see what that's about. Alright, so please only take this one if it makes sense. But for some of you, they think that people around you or a specific person around you is like slightly mean to them or doesn't treat them in a way that they would appreciate, you know? So we also have neutral. So again, like they could think, I don't know if it's in regards to the same person that came out just a second ago, but they think that you're quite neutral, like you don't get involved when maybe in conflict in general, or it could be in a conflict that they're a part of, or it could be a conflict involving someone that you know and them. I don't know, but please only take that one if it makes sense, you know? But yeah, they do think you are kind of pretty good at staying neutral. We also have chatty. So if you resonate with not being like a very talkative person, for some of you, like they do think that you need to talk to them more, or you guys just need to have more conversations, or they will kind of just love for you to be more like chatty and involved when it comes to them. All right, so we have chase, face and embrace the person in the mirror. What are they thinking about you? So yeah, like I don't know. I mean, a similar message came up before, but they could think you're chasing them a little. Like they could think that you are like really keen on kind of moving forward with them. We also have spiritual path. So yeah, a similar message came up before in terms of them seeing you or thinking about you as like a very spiritual person. They could also think that they need to make changes in your relationship. I'm gonna see what kind of changes. Let me see what kind of changes. What kind of changes do you think to make your relationship? Four of Wands. Upright. Sorry, let's fix this right quick. So they think they need to make changes in your relationships. So it feels like they feel like they need to change or define maybe like your path towards stability, or kind of building something with each other, like creating a foundation if you guys don't already have one. It feels like determining if that's what's right for you both, or if that's what you both want, or what they want. So we have make time for self-care. What are they thinking about you? So they do think you take care of yourself. I know earlier they mentioned that you were quite stylish, so they could think you take care of yourself, take care of your appearance. For some of you, this could be like self-care, internal self-care. But overall, they do think you take care of yourself. I feel like there were more cards than this. Oh yeah, there. So we have reveal your secret power. What are they thinking about you? So for some of you here, they do think you're hiding something from them. I mean, that was clarified by the 10 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles just flew out as well. Let me see. Do you think you're hiding like struggling? I mean, for some of you, again, clarified by the 9 of Swords, like they could think you're hiding some of your struggles, some of the struggles that you may have. And finally, we have, not finally, we've got a few more cards over here, but we also have open mind. So they do think you're quite open-minded. We do have the Page of Cups as well. So yeah, they could think you are quite open-minded. So we also have, I want you to trust me enough to let your guard down around me. So for some of you, they do think you're still somewhat guarded around them. So we also have you're strong, but you don't need to do this alone. So they do see you as quite strong. But they could see you as wanting to go through certain things privately. We also have breaking cycles. So 3 of Swords, the World card in reverse came out to clarify. So they could think you are trying to break cycles, maybe from like past relationships. They could think you want to break cycles in other areas of your life as well. Maybe not staying in situations that aren't like best for you. We also have no excuses. So they do think you are someone who's unlikely to make excuses as well, or you rarely do make excuses. So they could, please only take this as it makes sense, but they could think that you think that they are bitter about something. I don't know what it could be about though. It could be different for each of you who resonate with that. And finally, we have self-love. So we did have self-care. So yeah, they could think you take care of yourself. They could think you do things that kind of show you, them, and other people that you do value yourself, value maybe how you look or how you feel and all that stuff. But yeah, that's all that's coming out for those of you who chose this group. I do hope it could resonate and be helpful, make sense, and all that stuff. I'm wishing you the best, all right? Take care. Hey, welcome. Hi. So, if you've chosen the second group, the clear quartz geode, then this reading could be for you. So, I know I said I was just going to do tarot cards, but for the last group, I thought, fuck it, and pulled some more cards. So, I will do that after I read these cards, okay? But we do have the Queen of Wands in reverse, we do have the Six of Cups as well. So, the person on your mind, what are they thinking about you? So let me see, just make sure. All right, so they think you've either been harsh towards them or you've been hard on them, maybe in general or just in regards to certain things. Like they do think you've been maybe harder on them than you usually are, or than they want you to be. They think you aren't confident enough in yourself. They do think you can be aggressive as well, or you maybe have been aggressive lately, or just, in general. Um, but they do think you're really attractive, though, despite thinking that you may not have a lot of confidence in yourself. And they do think that other people, or maybe someone specific, may be jealous over some of the features that you have, or um, they kind of just imagine like people would be jealous of, something about you, maybe something that you may not appreciate of yourself, in yourself, sorry, or something you don't maybe really see as a big deal. They do see you as being a bit lost. Um, But for a lot of you, though, this could be more so when it comes to them as opposed to kind of just like being lost in general. But if some of you do think you're kind of finding your way at the moment, or just trying to find that balance or find some type of meaning in your life, then that could be what it's referring to. But for a lot of you, it does feel like it's referring to them. They do think you have a hard time connecting to each other. They do think you need to be, no, they think that they need to be more assertive, maybe honest with you as well. And this could be about a few different things, about how they feel, about themselves, like being honest about themselves, or things going on in their personal life. They kind of just think that they need to be more open with you. But they do think you don't really care about them as much as they do you. But they do think you like their attention. They think you don't really know what you want when it comes to them, and maybe other areas of your life too. And they think that they don't really know who you are. So they could also think that you're a different person from the one that they know. But they do think that they need to bite the bullet a little bit and just approach you or ask you something. And they think that they need to make smarter decisions or just be smarter about you in general. They do think you could be a little bit paranoid, or you just don't trust easily. And they could think you're just tired at the moment and maybe not very motivated. And again, like this could be when it comes to them, it could be, let me see. it could come to like and be in terms of communicating or just in general. They do think you're irritable though, and they do think you can be quite moralistic at times, maybe a bit, I don't know if this is the right word, but maybe a bit pious. But please only take that if it makes sense though, you know? So they don't necessarily think that you could manipulate, no, that you would or you are currently manipulating them, but they do think that you could manipulate them if you wanted to. And that might be less to do with you and more to do with them and the influence that they kind of feel like you have over them, you know? They could think you like your alone time. They think that you can't let go of the past. And they do think that you need to be more vulnerable, have more fun as well. They could think you need to reconnect with your family or a friend or maybe specific family members or friends. But they do think your closest relationships to you mean a lot to you, and you really value the relationships you do have and the relationships you may have in the future. So just in general, you value the relationships that you have or, you know, will build. So yeah, as well, like they do think maybe you haven't matured in some ways, but they do think you're very supportive. Like this could be in general, or when it comes to your close, you know, people, family and friends. But I'm just gonna get some more cards. This could take a minute, so feel free to like, what's that word? Fast forward, I guess, or skip. Person on your mind, what are they thinking about you? We'll keep both of them. Ugh, I hate seeing this card. Blah, blah, blah. Let me just try to figure that one out now and then I can just put it back. So for some of you, they could think you aren't interested in what they have to say, or that maybe you're not really interested in communicating with them much right now, or communicating with them in regards to something specific. What are they thinking about? Okay. All right, so let me go Yeah, so the person on your mind, what are they thinking about you? We have conservative. So they think you can come across quite conservative, but they could think you're low-key just not, like a little bit freaky or naughty. So yeah, they could think you come across conservative, but you're not really. And we have naughty as well. So yeah, they think you can be a little bit naughty. Let me see something actually. I'm not gonna lie, it does feel like it is in a kinky kind of way, you know? We also have undemanding. So they think you're not very demanding of them. It could be of other people in your life, but it does feel specifically related to them right now. But it feels like they would like you to be more demanding of them, you know? I need them a bit more. So we also have fire. Take responsibility for your power. So they do think you are a very passionate person. But they could also think that you need to take more responsibility for your life, for your purpose, you know, and what you want to do moving forward. We also have child. Give yourself permission to be playful. So that was clarified by the Fool card and the Strength card. They do think you need to kind of allow yourself to be a bit more lighthearted, a bit more playful, a bit more carefree. With the Fool card, maybe a bit more like innocent, you know, take more risk, all that jazz. We also have Silence the Mind. So for some of you, they do think you need to be less controlled, or at least around them. We also have Divine Life Purpose. So they could think that you're finding your life purpose, or you've already found your purpose, but maybe just kind of like trying to maybe manifest it, or kind of like create a foundation for your purpose, if that makes sense. We also have sensitive emotions. So yeah, they could think you're quite sensitive as well. We have I'm not financially stable. So they don't necessarily think you're struggling financially, but they could think you are maybe just lacking that stability in terms of your finances for some of you. But they could also think this about themselves as well. We also have opposites attract. So yeah, they could think you both are different in a lot of ways, but they could think that could work in your favor, you know? We also have I'm so used to flying solo. So for some reason, they think about how they're so used to kind of like doing their own thing. but maybe how they kind of want that to change when it comes to you and potentially moving forward with you. We also have our deep-rooted commitment issues. So yeah, for some of you, they could think you have commitment issues or just trouble trusting. But they could think that they have commitment issues too. Yeah. But with the Knight of Cups, that's shown up a few times as well. Like they could think you guys can make it work. So we have don't be scared, it's about to get freaky. So they could have some freaky thoughts about you as well, wink wink. We also have I'm not the forgiving kind of person. So for some of you, they could think you haven't forgiven them for something yet. And finally, we have innocence. So yeah, they either think you need to be more innocent or not need, but like they will kind of like you to be, you know, just like in a softer kind of energy, you know. But yeah, I hope that could make sense. I hope it could resonate or be helpful at least. But I'm wishing you the best. Bye. Hey, welcome. I hope you're good. Welcome to your reading. If you've chosen the third group, the rose quartz, then this reading could be for you, alright? So the person on your mind, what are they thinking about you? We have the Chariot and we have the Eight of Swords. So I know I said at the beginning of the reading that I was just going to do tarot cards, but I pulled some extra cards for the last two groups. So I'll do that for this group as well towards the end, like not towards the end, but once I finish reading these two cards, all right? So the person on your mind, what are they thinking about you? So let me see. So they do think you are difficult to understand at times. They think you've been affected a lot by your past, specifically maybe past relationships. But they do think you're very strong. Like they do see you as being very strong. And they think there is a lot you can overcome. Like if, you know, life was to throw certain things in your way, like they think you would be able to overcome it. Or they think that there's a lot that you will overcome if there's still some hurdles or challenges that you're currently experiencing. Even if it's not that deep, they do think you will overcome it regardless, you know. But yeah, they do think you know what you want, and they do think you would respond better to them if they were more forward. They do think you're unsure of them though, but that you do or you could care about them to some degree, but maybe they're just not really sure how much. So yeah, they do think you are maybe slightly, you know, unsure about them still. They do think you're a good person though. They see you as being this high achiever. And they do think of you as being on your chosen path, you know, and the right path for you, even if that looks different from theirs and looks different from other people, you know, whatever. But yeah, they do think you're on the right path for yourself. They do see you as being a bit stubborn. They do see you as being quite driven. And it feels like they want to get to know you better and they want things to progress faster as well. But they do think that they still need to kind of like show some degree of self-control around you. And again, this could be for different reasons. Like, for example, if you have been through a lot, okay, I'm not going to come on too strong because I know like that may kind of throw you off or it may kind of put your guard up. Or, like, for example, if this is someone in your workplace, I need to show some degree of self-control because of, needing to be professional, or being in certain environments, even if it's not a professional environment. But yeah, so to some degree, like, they do think they need to show some self-control around you. From their perspective, though, you are very resilient. They do think you like to travel, or you like to keep busy, or you're just busy in general. It could be both, of course. But they do think you're quite disciplined and focused in some or most areas of your life. They do think you're confident, or they see you as being confident, but having trouble to, like, show your true self, maybe in certain environments, maybe when it comes to them, or maybe in general, when you're not too close to certain people. They do think you could be afraid of being tied down and trapped as well. They do think you could tend to think negatively or think the worst in some situations. Let me see. Like, for some of you, like, they could really perceive you as having been through the ringer in some ways. So it's like, maybe when you have been through certain, dark situations, it's not easy to kind of see things in a positive, not everything, of course, but like in certain situations, it's like not easy to not be cautious, or to think. And it's not necessarily thinking the worst in situations. Well, at least from maybe your perspective, it could just be being aware, because you know what that could be like, if that makes sense. But anyways, they do think that they're slightly powerless when it comes to you as well. But this could be in, like, different ways. Like, for example, they could feel a bit weak when it comes to you. Maybe a bit weak in the knees, wink, wink. It could also be that they think that they don't have any control over you. Not like they want control over you, or they want to be able to manipulate you or anything like that. But it just feels like they think that they don't have any say or influence in your life. Like, maybe even very little effect on what you do, or your life. And they would like to be maybe more a part of your life, if that makes sense. But yeah. So they could think that you want to give them space, or you want them to give you space, but they think you're hiding from them a little. So they kind of like feel like there's this safe zone between you guys, like a zone between you guys where it's gotten very comfortable. There's not much movement, not much progress, where things have gotten, comfortable, complacent, maybe a bit repetitive between you both, and they kind of just want to be able to move beyond that. They could also think you're quite protective over someone else in your life too. They could think you maybe struggle to trust them or trust their intentions, their genuine intentions. But they also see you as maybe dealing with a lot of conflict, whether that's in your life or maybe mentally, or just kind of, day-to-day kind of stuff. Gonna get a few extra cards. What are they thinking about you? Alright, so what are they thinking about you? Okay, so we have undemanding. So they could think you put a reasonable amount of pressure on yourself, whereas you don't maybe extend that pressure, or that, or maybe, I don't know if it's expectation. Maybe, did I say pressure just now? I don't know, but they think that you don't really extend that pressure to other people, just mostly on yourself. We also have reserved. So they don't really kind of think of you as a reserve, just like maybe around them or in certain situations, they perceive you as being quite reserved. Maybe mostly around them though. We also have moralistic. So they think you do have a good set of morals, you know. They do think you have good intentions as well. So we have falling, drop into the deep end of your soul. What are they thinking about you? So they think that they've already fallen for you. We also have key. So it feels like they kind of just want to know more about you. They want to know more about what's behind your door. You know? Do you have more from this one? Like they just want to figure out what's the best way to move forward with you as well. Like what's the key? What's the answer here? You know? We also have spiritual protection. You are being watched over, protected physically, emotionally, and energetically. So they do think you're quite a protected person in general. I mean, I know the message earlier, they think you're protective over someone. This card does feel more specifically about they feel like you are just protected in general. And not necessarily being protected from them either, just, you know. We also have self-worth. So yeah, they think you know your worth. We also have listen to advice. So they could think, that was clarified by the Queen of Pentacles, that's really nice. So they could think of you as being quite wise in general, but they also think you could give great advice. Or you just seem like someone who would give great advice. We also have I was wrong. I'm going to see what that's about. So they think that they were wrong about you. Like in the past, they could have had I don't know if it's a negative opinion of you, or they kind of just thought something about you that just wasn't true, and they kind of realize that now. Like they could have thought you were maybe damaged in some way. We also have you are so fudging sexy. What are they thinking about you? So they do think you're extremely attractive. You were better than I was ready for. So they do think that they didn't really do right by you in the past, or they didn't do the right thing concerning you in the past. They maybe think they weren't ready, thought they weren't ready for you, or think that they weren't ready for you. It's almost like, oh, it turns out you were better than me, if that makes sense. For some of you, they could have, I don't know if it's necessarily that they thought they were better than you, but they kind of realized that you could be better or more evolved than they are, or than they realize you were. But they kind of feel bad about it, that they even thought the opposite in the past, you know? You also have, are you ashamed of me? For some of you, they could think they aren't your usual type. I don't know if ashamed is the right word. For some of you, they could think you don't really know what to say to them. Or maybe what you guys speak about or your interactions are quite repetitive. So they do think you guys need to spend more time with each other, or they think about you guys potentially spending more time with each other, or they kind of would just like it. Yeah. Do you have more from this? And finally, we have I want to do unspeakable things to you. So yeah, they want to do some naughty things with you, okay? But that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I do hope it could be helpful though. Makes sense. But I am wishing you all the best, alright? Please take care. Bye.